Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 10 of What If the Naruto Universe Had Quirks. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new movie of the crossover between Demon Slayer and Naruto over Anime Prince. And I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto found Tobarama's secret base. So go ahead, check that out and enjoy guys. And remember for new Yes I Did 4 channels which I post What If on every single day. Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime Prince guys. Links will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post. So without further ado or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last spot we left off, Mikasa woke up as her body was wrapped with bandages. The memory of the fight was still fresh in her mind. She was able to somehow see his vision, see his past, everything about him. Her quirk that she did not use, other than her main quirk that she inherited from her mother, which was a controlled paper in every sense of the word. It did not act like that though. She figured that it had something to do with him, and his body in a severe, constant pain because of what happened with Orochimaru. She saw all of his memories. It was only a few seconds and yet she felt like she'd gone through an entire lifetime. His lifetime. And she felt like she knew him, understand him more. Despite him wanting to end her for invading his privacy, she knew a lot of things that she should not know. And she also felt his hatred as well. Normally her quirk would not invade someone's mind like this, she would have to be able to hold on to them. But now she was able to somehow see everything because of him. And she could tell how strong he was. She doubted that she could easily keep up with him in a normal state if he was fully functional. She would have had to pull on every single thing that she had to even keep up. However, he was severely weakened. As she had no doubt that he was now by himself, seeing that his hatred for his siblings and the Uchiha was so great. She cursed herself while she was feeling this, as she felt like she wanted to help him. He was just someone that was suffering so much, he was on the edge of breaking. Damn it, she thought. Meanwhile, Naruto was attacked. Well, he was cornered by a group from the grass as they were here to end his life. In that moment, Naruto went through a lot. Hearing that these ninjas were here to kill him and thinking about the fact that he could not even keep up with someone like Orochimaru. Despite all the training that he went through, Naruto started to go down into a depression. He didn't know if he could do it anymore. He didn't know if he could get his revenge. He didn't know if he could take all quirks. Not the useless ones though. Only the ones that could help him in his endeavor. How could he do that if he couldn't even fight someone like Orochimaru? Granted, Orochimaru was as strong as ever. As Naruto never knew that he was this strong. He doubted that he was supposed to be this strong after all. He was able to somehow steal quirks. As Naruto was on his last leg, he was breaking down mentally until he remembered the ones he cared about the most that were now gone. As Naruto's determination, his hatred and anger rose so much that he started to go ballistic. The bloodlust that came from him allowed him to slaughter all of the shinobis that faced him without even battering an eye. As Naruto went into a fit of rage and started to attack anything that came in his sight, he was brutal and deadly. While that was going on, Orochimaru was surprised. Orochimaru was able to steal quirks, but not like what Naruto was able to do. Orochimaru was able to take over a person's body. However, the limit was 10. Once he surpassed 10, one of his previous quirks would be gone and replaced by the new body that he take over. However, he had been trying to take Naruto's body when Naruto's body reacts subconsciously and take two of his quirk, which Orochimaru was upset about, but this just proved his theory. But this was also good as well, as this will give him a chance to manipulate Naruto and find a way in the future to take over his body. But now he will have to wait, but he definitely needs this child on his side. Orochimaru would like to study him, to find out what makes his quirk tick, to find out how his quirk was able to assimilate other quirks, and just take a few minutes of regeneration to fix back. And he will also have to get two other quirks to supplement the ones that Naruto accidentally took from him. We then skip back to the forest. At said forest, as Minato and the others are making their way through, it did not take them long to arrive towards the scene, as they had came up with the thought of just leaving Naruto behind after all. They never really got along as they made their way towards the tower. However, upon arriving up there, they saw something rather gruesome. Bodies. Bodies were everywhere, as they saw Naruto standing right there. His face was set in a stone, like he was dead serious. However, the bloodlust was getting to them. As Naruto turned and saw them, he had came here, hoping to get a flag by killing off the teams that were here, and wait for another team to come, but a lot of other teams thought about that as well, so the moment he arrived, he was jumped by a lot of teams. However, he slaughtered them all. Naruto told them that if he did not go through with them, he would just kill them and take the flag. Sasuke and Menma was willing to fight, but Minato stopped the fighting and she told them to just go ahead. So with that, they arrived towards the tower. Some time passed as Naruto was on the roof eating, relaxing and clearing his mind when she arrived. Mikasa came up there, as Naruto wanted to end her right here and now, but this was not a favorable situation. She told him how broken he was as Naruto tried to ignore her, but she was right, he knew that deep down. However, he did not care, broken or not, he would do what he had to do. He told her that he would kill her if she ever told anyone about his plan, but she told him that she would not, that he could trust her. In fact, she actually felt sorry for him, as Naruto scoffed at that, but she told him that she felt like she knew him after seeing everything. As she walked and stopped, telling him that if he ever decided to truly change the world, which he cannot do by himself, come to the Hidden Rain, as she can help, and she was not the only one. As Naruto did not say anything as she left the roof. It was long after that that Naruto was called down, as they would be having a preliminary to lessen the numbers, so they can have the true elites fight at the finals. So with that, the names were called, as Naruto's name was called to face off against a guy named Kojiro from Kiri. Kojiro had a quirk that was able to allow him to make people experience their fear once looking into his eyes. As Naruto started to see his greatest fear, however, Naruto was able to shatter that false reality, as there was nothing in this world that he would let hold him back anymore. Kojiro was shocked. Without his quirk being effective against Naruto, Naruto bodied him rather quickly. The rest of the matches went on as Menma and Minato and Sasuke were able to prevail, along with several others, but Naruto did not care. He just needed to know who his opponent would be. However, they were not told who their opponent would be. After all, they never knew who they would be fighting out in the wild, so they have to be prepared for everything. After all they witnessed, however, Naruto glanced over toward the son of the Katsuki. He was one of the most dangerous here, as Naruto would like to go up against him, and also take that quirk of his. As Naruto and the others were given 2 weeks, they had 2 weeks as they could remain here. The group did not see it wise to go all the way back and then return, and they had sections where they could train here. Up to this point, Naruto had not revealed all that he could do, as people did not know about his quirk or what he could do. So for now, that was a secret until his father arrived in the finals, which will be no doubt a great boost for Konoha, putting the other nations at fear once again. Knowing that Konoha had someone that could steal quirks, the other nations would not dare to try a single thing against them. So with that, Naruto retired to his quarters when a mouth, a literal mouth, slipped under his door. Someone was able to detach their body pieces, as the mouth spoke and told him that Lord Orochimaru would like to speak to him. As Naruto, after a while of thinking, ventured outside. So yeah guys, basically let's left off. You guys can switch across the place, check it out yourself. So let's begin this. No guys. Naruto calmly walked in the dead of night. The mouth that had come to retrieve him for its Lord Orochimaru was in front of him. Naruto had no idea how it was moving like that. The body must be like a magnet, and all of the pieces that were able to separate were like irons that were pulled back to the original source, that being the magnet. As Naruto calmly walked, The mouth had not said a single word. Naruto's guard was up just in case, as his hands behind his back. His nails extended into blades, his body tense, ready to lash out and strike. However, the thing shot upwards as it reattaches someone. That is when Naruto saw him, a boy. He had silver hair. He was wearing glasses. He smiled at Naruto as Naruto saw his lip had reattached to his face. "This way," he said, as he turned his back completely, leaving himself wide open, as Naruto entertained the thought of slicing him in half right here and now. However, he could tell that this person, despite not looking it, was able to defend himself. So he remained calm. The guy hopped up on a roof as Naruto followed him. It took them around 6 minutes to arrive towards destination. Arriving out there, Naruto felt a strange sensation. It felt like he was being watched from all over. That is when he saw the snake Sani leaned up against a tree, a delightful smile on his face. "What do you want?" said Naruto. "Oh, come on now, Naruto-kun. Don't be so hostile." As Naruto sent him a glare. "You came out here for a reason. If you did not want to accept my proposal, you wouldn't have thought about coming here. Isn't that right?" As Naruto remained quiet, Naruto just watched him as Naruto watched as he snapped his finger. Upon doing that, one of the person that was watching him, as Naruto knew that there were people out here, jumped down. As Naruto saw that it was a guy with 6 arms and 6 eyes. The guy looked at him as all of his 6 eyes blinked. However, what he was holding in webs. Someone was tied up in web. The web seemed to be silk, however, it seemed rather durable. As a person was unconscious on the ground, dropped in front of Naruto. "You called me out here to bring me a body," said Naruto, looking at Orochimaru. As a 6-eyed youth looked at Naruto, not showing really any emotion. "Oh, that's not just all," Orochimaru said that smirk. "You see, I can tell that you're still struggling with the idea to choose the right side." "The right side," said Naruto. "The last time I checked, you were a criminal that was hunted by a majority of the other nations because of the despicable things you've done." "Yes, and everyone knows that. However, you're stuck in the middle," Orochimaru said. As Naruto watched him carefully. "What's that supposed to mean?" he asked, despite already having a sense of understanding of what he meant. "Well, it's quite simple. You don't know which side to choose. I can see it in your eyes, the hatred you have towards your village. When I spoke about it in the forest, there was so much hate, so much anger. And also I can tell." "How so?" said Naruto. "Well, as I've informed you, I have more than one quirk. I can see your true desires," said Orochimaru as he appeared in front of Naruto. His speed was ridiculous. "You and I will do so much good together. So much changes. However, in order to do that, you must become stronger. Your quirk allows you to become one of the greatest person to ever walk this earth." "And why would you allow that?" said Naruto. "After all, if I do become one of the greatest person to walk this earth, what use do I have for you by then?" As Orochimaru chuckled. "Quite correct," he said. "But I believe that the both of us can build a friendship that will last for a lifetime," Orochimaru said. "Even beyond that. After all, this individual right here possesses a quirk that brings out the desire in what you want to know." "What do you mean?" 10 seconds. "That's all you need," Orochimaru said. "Make contact with someone for 10 seconds. And your quirk will activate. Well, once you steal it from him, of course. You will be able to search the thoughts and the minds of the individual. Unconsciously, they won't even know what they're doing, telling you any answer that you seek once your quirk is activated. However, you have to attach yourself to them for 10 seconds. As Naruto watched him carefully. "You want me to use this?" said Naruto. "Against my father." "Him and others," Orochimaru said. "For you to understand the deep desire in your heart." As he reached up and poked Naruto on the chest. "I know you want to know, and this will be your salvation." As Orochimaru smirked at him, seeing Naruto in deep thought. What he always wanted to know. This could be it. This could be his chance. Naruto thought to himself, this could be the opportunity that he's been waiting for. as he glanced up towards Orochimaru and stepped forward, passing by the snake Sanin. As Naruto looked down towards the individual on the ground, Naruto then reached up and grabbed him by the throat. The guy seemed to snap awake at that as he opened his eyes, but he could not move. Black markings started to spread from Naruto's skin and attach to the guy. As Naruto slowly started to suck out his quirk, Orochimaru watched as he watched the markings, the same one that had spread across him. Kabuto stood there with a calculated gaze, as he did not say a word. Even Kinemaro watched Naruto carefully. As Kinemaro, the sixth eyes, and the sixth arm, spider arachnid, quirk, spider. As he stood there, having the privilege to see all of this, Naruto then dropped the guy, who looked rather concerned, as his eyes was shouting at Naruto, seeing that he could not speak with his mouth being covered. As Naruto slugged him across the face with so much force that his head slammed into the ground, knocking him out. Naruto then stood where he was, allowing his body time to adjust. Orochimaru licked his lip in glee. "And now I've granted you something wonderful," Orochimaru said. "For you to finally find out the truth. To know that Konoha is just using you." "And what? You don't want to use me too?" said Naruto. "Well, yes, but we can use each other to achieve what we want. I have a goal, and the only way for me to achieve it is with getting your help," Orochimaru said. "Oh, and another thing," he said. "I heard that your quirk was awakened on a night where you faced off against Mizuki." "How did you know that?" said Naruto. Orochimaru merely chuckled. "I told you, my boy. I have spies everywhere. Now, as I was saying, I heard that Mizuki wanted to take you and sell you, if I'm not mistaken." Naruto's fist clenched as he remembered about KO. "Because you are still a part of the bloodline of Minato and Kushina, who possess some of the strongest quirk this world has ever seen. Well, in this time period, to be exact." "What of it?" said Naruto, not liking this conversation because he was remembering his friend KO. "Well, you see, I've been doing some research, and I've not seen any connection with Mizuki outside the village, targeting anyone at all, to sell you to them." As Naruto was confused by that statement. "What do you mean?" "You're a smart boy, Naruto-kun." "You understand," Orochimaru said. Naruto's mind started to rush to the words that he just said, as he tried to understand what he was talking about. It was then that Naruto understood what Orochimaru was saying. Naruto's eyes looked at the man with a shocked, unbelievable expression. For a second there, Kabuto thought that Naruto might attack his master, when his eyes switched to nothing but hatred. There was so much. Kabuto had to literally take a step back when he saw something deep, something dark, something twisted inside this child, something that actually scared him. Granted, Kabuto wasn't as bloodlusted as Orochimaru, but the things he has done and seen, but yet, this one child. Kabuto felt a sensation that washed over them. Orochimaru felt it as well as he raised an eyebrow at the pure, raw murderous intent that surpassed many that he's seen before in this lifetime. Naruto's fist clenched so tight that blood started to drip from his palm. Orochimaru watched as said blood did not flow down his hand and hit the ground. It started to retract. "Are you telling me that someone in the village sent Mizuki to kill me?" Naruto said, his eyes looking at Orochimaru dangerously. "Exactly. Because as I said, there's no connection outside the village with him. No dealer for him to sell you to. No one that wanted you, that Mizuki was bargaining with. Not to say that other villages weren't after you or your siblings, but Mizuki wasn't in contact with any of them." "Then who?" said Naruto. "You have spies. Tell me who sent him." "I'm afraid that's something I do not know," Orochimaru said. As Naruto clenched his fist, Orochimaru started to walk. "I will be in contact soon," he said to Naruto. "But remember this. Your father, Minato. Ever since I've known him, he's been a conniving person. He only seeks to better himself, and once he became Hokage, he only seeks to better the village. To prove that he's one of the best in all the generation. He might look like he's someone out for peace, but he's bloodthirsty. willing to do whatever it takes. He would not tolerate embarrassments or shame to his family name. After all, you were one of those shame. Naruto appeared in front of Orochimaru, stopping the man in his tracks. Are you trying to say that he sent Mizuki to kill me? Because I was ashamed to his name, that he had enough of me being there. Well, all you need is 10 seconds, said Orochimaru with a smile. As him and the others vanished, Kabuto was the last to leave as he watched Naruto carefully. Before he flashed away, Naruto's mind was whirling as he stood where he was, trying to understand, trying to really believe if what Orochimaru said was true. When his father found out about his quirk, he did not mention anything about Mizuki. He just said that he was attacked. His father behaved so surprised. No, that can't be it. Despite everything, would he have really sent someone to kill him back then? As Naruto remembered the conversations between both his mother and father when he was listening nearby, his father telling her that Naruto was ashamed to the clan name. All the other kids, all the clan heads, awakened their quirks and he was ashamed. A humiliation to them, being the son of the Hokage and being so useless, quirkless. All of that resonated through Naruto. Naruto gripped his chest as he felt his heart beating faster than normal as he dropped to his knees. The implications of everything just piling on top of him. Most of the time Naruto chose to neglect and chose to ignore the suffering that he went through as a child, that his parents, especially his father and his mother, neglect, not caring about him in the slightest. And now, Naruto felt so much anger, so much hate that it was causing him to fluctuate his heart, that is. As Naruto clenched his fist to the ground itself seeming to bent in by his fist. So much rage, so much anger, boiling. No, it was burning inside of him. As Naruto felt it, chaotic, spinning, boiling rage. However, that is when he felt something as he snapped his head up. Naruto was shocked when he saw Mikasa standing right in front of him. A few minutes earlier, the exam had ended today, so Mikasa and her team would be returning tomorrow. For the 2 weeks, some teams would be staying by, such as the Konoha team. However, she and her team would be heading back to the village. She had to speak to her father about what happened, and tell her mother about the exam as well. However, something was wrong as she was snapped out of her sleeping days. Given that they were all able to receive a room, granted the rooms are extremely small. She didn't know what it was, but she felt something off. She felt like something was guiding her. Mikasa walked through. As she saw that there was no one out, the few ninjas or samurais that were out, she quickly hid away from them. Breaking her body up into paper, she floated off. Mikasa arrived as she saw none other than Naruto on the ground. Why? Why did her feelings lead her out here? What's going on? Naruto blinked as he looked up to see her. What are you doing here? Said Naruto. As she looked down towards him, I do not know. What do you mean you don't know? Why are you out here? And I told you I don't know, she said. I had this strange feeling and it brought me to you. Naruto scoffed. You expect me to believe that? Believe it or not, what's wrong with you? Don't pretend like we're friends. You do not get to ask me that, said Naruto. You're right, I shouldn't care. But it seems like you're on the verge of dying, she said. As Naruto looked towards her, he glanced around. I warned you I would kill you, he said. I warned you I would make you pay for what you did. And yet you still come out all the way out here, by yourself, with no one around, to witness your death. She looked towards him. She simply shrugged her shoulders. Naruto raised an eyebrow. And what are you implying, he said. That I won't do it. No, she said. As Naruto appeared in front of her with a burst of speed, he grabbed her by the throat and slammed her in the tree. Quickly pulled Nakunai out Naruto, brought it towards her neck. As he pressed it against her throat. Why did you stop? She asked him. Her hands started disassembling into paper. As she was not taking any, well, chances still, but she felt something off. You want to know why you stop? Because you know that I'm not your enemy. And I wish you no harm. Something happened. You just found out something that has shattered your grip on reality. You're barely holding on. I can see it. If you keep on making yourself be pushed like this, it's only a matter of time before you lose your mind and become something that you don't even recognize. Don't act like you know me, said Naruto. But I do, she said. It was something that none of us planned for, but I do. I never planned to see your memories. I never planned to know you, but I do. And I felt like I've known you my entire life. My quirk has never worked in that way before. You were responsible as well. Me? You invaded my mind. Yes, I did. But as I said, my quirk has never worked like that before. Your strange activation of your quirk caused mine to activate as well. And whatever that was, it happened. And now I know everything about you. The hate, the anger. And I also feel connected to you in a sense. I mean, why would I woken up to come all the way out here? I know that we're not friends, or that you don't give a damn about me, neither do I about you. But I can't help what I've seen, she said. And for some reason, I feel like I should help you, and I don't know why. Naruto scoffed. How can you possibly help me? I don't know, she said. So how do you think you're gonna help me then if you don't even know? How useless are you? Hey, don't call me useless, she said, pushing him away. As Naruto growled at her. Stop acting like some jackass, she said. You know I'm not out here to fight you, and besides, with all the things I know about you, I could tell your Hokage once he arrived, aka your father. The kunai gripped in Naruto's hand as it tightened. However, I won't, she said. And why? Why would you hold something like that back? Knowing that you can cause trouble to the leaf. Knowing that you can cause trouble to almost everything. Knowing about what I can do. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? It will be revealed very soon about what you can do. I doubt that is the only reason, said Naruto. Yes, you're right. As I said, I don't wish to expose you. Because they deserve it. What? Said Naruto. You heard me. They deserve whatever is coming to them. Your mother, she stood by. And she did not care about your pain or problems. She neglected you. She put you through hell. Always choosing your siblings over you despite them torturing you. You were physically attacked by your own siblings and their Uchiha friend. The bully, the big bad bully, who believed that he's above everyone else. And yet your mother, she just didn't care. Your father only cared about you when you were able to steal other people's work. Other than that, he saw you as a nuisance. He saw you as an abomination, a stain to his family name, a problem that he wanted to get rid of. And he didn't care about you. As a matter of fact, from what I saw, it didn't seem like he would care if you dropped dead. Naruto clenched his fist at that, his fist tightening as she noticed that. That's it, isn't it? You found out something about your father. As Naruto watched her carefully, shocked how she was able to surmise that. You see, it's just as I said. Somehow I'm connected to you. Normally I wouldn't be able to understand a person like this, but I'm able to tell what is going on. You found something out, didn't you? He did something that you just found out recently. Tell me, what is it? She asked. As Naruto shook his head. I told you this before, we're not friends. Stop pretending like we are. Oh yeah, you're right, she said, backing off. As she looked at him. For whatever it matters, I'm sorry. You're sorry? Why? Said Naruto, confused. No one should suffer like you have, she said. And now you have nothing. You don't feel like you can trust anyone or care for anyone. You're broken. You're fragile. And it's only a matter of time before you fall apart. Are you trying to make me cry or feel upset? Said Naruto. Because it's not gonna work. Oh no, she said. I'm not trying to do anything of the sorts. I'm just merely telling you what I saw and what you're going through at the moment. Well, I have already gave you my proposal, so do with it as you please. As she slowly walked away, she watched him though with a corner of her eye as she turned, feeling that feeling once again. As she didn't know why, but she wanted to help. She wanted to stand and talk to him. There was just something from her quirk, reading his mind, seeing his memories. She felt strangely close to him despite barely knowing him. Well, she knew everything about him, but still. Just because she saw his memory, that did not mean that they were friends or anything. She backed off as she made her way back towards her room. Once she was gone, Naruto still refused to cry, as he swore that he would never cry again. However, at the moment he felt broken. She was right. The small tiny piece of holding back that he had, any piece of hesitation, it was gone. It all vanished. He felt like someone had ripped his heart out. As he glanced up and watched her, her body seemed to break apart, which it did, into paper, before she dematerialized and just vanished. As Naruto watched her leave. But he said nothing though, as he got back up and made his way. Time skip. Mikasa finally arrived back home. The moment she did, she quickly made her way to where her father was located as she separated from her teammates. She was one of the finalists that will be taking place in the next coming weeks. She was going to be taking place in the exam to prove to the entire world that the Hidden Rain is still in the running, despite the great nations being all that. She was going to prove to herself and everyone else that they still had strength and they were not just some joke. Despite knowing who her father was, and if he wanted to, he could mop the floor with almost all of the Kages with the power that he wielded. As she made her way, her mother already was probably informed by her father. As she arrived to see the both of them waiting on her, her mother smiled at her. As they greeted her, she greeted back them. I'm in the finals, she said to the both of them. Immediately, she was congratulated as she felt so loved by the both of them. But at that moment, she felt sorry for Naruto, knowing that he never had this. They saw the look on her face. What's wrong, honey? Konan asked as she looked towards her. Oh, it's... a lot happened, she said. And I mean a lot. I'm sure that by now father has told you about the Konoha ninja who possibly can steal other quirks. Yes, Konan said. Her tone sounded a bit strained. And he advised you to check this person out before speaking to me first. She glanced towards Nagato, who looked away. Despite the power her father wielded, her mother had great control over him. As he said nothing at all, she simply smiled at their antics, knowing that despite the things they've done and things they plan to do, they were her loving parents. I met someone, she said. What do you mean, said Nagato, surprised by the way she phrased it. It's him. His name is Naruto Namikaze, the Hokage's son. Yes, he was once quirkless, but now he has the ability to steal other people's quirk. Wait, you saw him? Said Konan. I did more than that. I talked to him for some time. Well, we tried to kill each other, but... What happened? Said Nagato. She then told them everything. Upon reaching the point where she used her other quirks that her father forbade her from using, to draw attention to herself as she apologized because it was an accident. After all, it also saved her life. Konan was furious at this Naruto. However, the more she told, the more broken he sounds. It reminded the couple of their own past, reminded them of their friend, reminding them of the struggles and hardship that they went through to be here now. However, Konan saw something on her daughter's face as she spoke about this Naruto. He has nothing to live for. No one to live for. If another situation drives him over the edge, I believe that he will be utterly broken. However, I spoke to him. I don't know if it worked, but in the end, I was able to speak to him normally. and I tried to convince him that he could have a home here. Nagato looked towards her. You told him about us. No, of course not, she said. I'm not that trusting, she said to him. I just told him that he could have a home. Away from all this suffering, but I can tell you now, Dad. Wait, you can see it, can't you? I mean, can't you look through my mind and see his memories? As the parents looked toward each other, he motioned for her to come as he placed a hand on her head. The eyes that once belonged to the god of this world that probably started the whole quirk when he faced off against the monster, started the whole quirk regime. They glistened as he touched Konan's head as well. Nagato was able to find the memory in his daughter's head. Nagato possessing this, eyes that were able to surpass almost every quirk, power that able to rain destruction and chaos from the heavens himself. The Rinnegan was a tool of mass destruction, power to revive the dead and do almost absolutely anything. The power that it has changed over the years. Maybe it was the creation of quirks, maybe it was evolution, no one can be sure, but the Rinnegan was far stronger than it was said to be back then. As Nagato was able to pinpoint the memories, making a connection between all three of them, Konan was able to witness everything as well. Konan was baffled. How could a mother put her own son through this? They knew the world, of course they did. However, parents tend to always care about their children despite them possessing a quirk or not. However, some people are cruel and wicked to some point where to them it was nothing. It was known far well that parents neglect their children a lot. However, to Konan it was just an abomination. Because she loved her daughter, born with a quirk or not, she would love her daughter to the ends of the earth. And to see someone be treated like that, it felt like a lifetime. However, the connection that Mikasa shared with Naruto, they did not have it. Maybe it was because it was her quirk, but they were able to see everything and they felt sorry for the boy. And it made them remember the past. They once had a friend known as Yaiko. The three of them had went through so much, but Yaiko had fallen, taken away from them too soon. As they looked towards their daughter, see, it's bad. Time skip. As Konan walked with her daughter towards the edge, looking over the city. What's up, Mom? She said. It's about how you feel about this Naruto fellow. What are you talking about? Come on now, honey. I saw the way you look when you talk about him. What do you mean? She said, completely oblivious of what Konan was talking about. You like him? What? Of course not. Didn't you see that we almost kill each other? And I tried to kill him and he tried to kill me. Yes, I know that. But that is when you did not understand each other. This child is truly broken. He's angry and broken, and also dark. He will stop at nothing to achieve what he wants. And I don't want you to get hurt. Mom, trust me. I don't like him. I mean, I understand him better now, and the reason why he does what he does. In fact, I just feel kind of sorry for him. But like, that's kind of stretching it. Deny it all you want, but I saw it in your eyes. Come on, Mom, I told you I don't like him. Konan sighed. Alright. I'll let this go, she said. But be careful. People like that don't change. I know it's majority not his fault, but the things that happened in his past has molded him into the future to what he is right now. And I see great things in the future for him. Things that are not pleasant in the slightest. There might be a chance that you and him will meet once again, but this time as true enemies. As that brought a frown to her face, not liking the sound of that. It's not like she liked him or anything, but she felt sorry for him. And if he died, broken and died alone, it made her feel worse. Time skip. They were finally here. As they arrived a day before the whole thing started. In fact, the first Kage to arrive was none other than Minato. As he arrived the day before, the others were probably on their way. The teacher Kage would be here no doubt despite his qualms with Konoha. After all, the Land of Iron was a peaceful regime, where no war could happen. They had a neutrality with all villages. Minato arrived as he was gathered by several ninjas. The civilians would be arriving shortly. Several of them had already arrived to stay, as several of them had booked rooms, ready to witness the greatness of this year. Quirk users, to see the top Quirk players. The Raikage was on his way, the Kazakage was on his way, the Mizukage was on his way, everyone was wrapping up to arrive towards the location. But Minato was the first to be here. Maybe it was his little ranking boost of being the fastest man alive. That is why he showed up first. Minato spoke to the Jonin senseis first, as the kids were outside. As Naruto leaned up against the wall, the moment they saw him, Mito and Menma made their way towards him, a happy smile on both of their faces, as he told them that he was proud of them for making it to the finals. He then glanced towards Naruto as he gestured for him to come over here. Naruto hesitantly made his way towards the man, as he was smiling happy. "Good job, son," he said, gesturing towards Naruto. Menma clenched his fist at hearing that. Despite him just getting praise, he hated when Naruto was acknowledged by their father. He despised it with every fiber in his body, as he was no longer the favorite son, it seems. Something that brought him nothing but anguish and agony and rage. So much in fact that he just wanted to cause mayhem. Mayhem on the one that he hated the most, which was none other than Naruto. "Father," said Naruto, further pissing Menma off by hearing that. "Can we speak privately?" Minato looked toward his son, but figuring that he might have done something here that you wanted to know about. "Yes, sure." "I will speak to you two later," he said, as he did not wait for their response. Mito and Menma watched him leave with Naruto. Mito did not like it either. She was always a daddy little girl, but now her father was paying attention to Naruto more than them, and that angered her. Yes, it angered her greatly. However, she kept her mouth shut, unlike Menma, who was cursing under his breath. Nothing but rage and curse words that came out of his mouth. Both Minato and Naruto made their way towards Naruto's secluded room. Upon entering, the door was locked. "What do you want to talk about, my son?" "In private." "Well, first of all, I got 3 quirks," said Naruto, figuring that this was the best time to reveal about his attraction quirk that he stole from Kyo's mom. "You did?" said Minato, a smile on his face. "What are they?" he asked. "Well," said Naruto as he held out his hand. "Oh, I see," said Minato, as he saw the object fly towards Naruto's hand. "What is the weight limit and range on this?" "Well, as far as I can see, without much practice yet, I can move the table just fine," said Naruto. "Even the bed if I try." "Interesting," said Minato. "What are the others?" "Well, I can control my blood," said Naruto. "I got hurt in the forest, and I came across this girl that can manipulate her blood, remain and push it back inside my body, so I won't have to worry about getting injured. And even if I do, I won't bleed out." "Brilliant," said Minato, a smile on his face. "That will be a good addition to your bonus quirks, helping you on the battlefield. Given what we plan to announce, you will have to get as strong as possible. To put you in the spotlight mean that you will be on the tongue of everyone. But this will be a good thing. No one will dare try to mess with Konoha. They will fear you, my son. You'll become one of the greatest, protecting Konoha with all your might." As Naruto smiled, but he felt sick at doing so. "And what's the other one?" said Minato. "It's like a sonic wave," said Naruto. "I can propel air wave from my feet and hand. It allows me to increase my speed and the force of my punch while propelling it from my elbow," said Naruto. "All of these quirks that you've taken have completely aligned with your other quirks." "It's ingenious," said Minato. "Blending them together will help you become a more efficient shinobi. Once we get back after you dominate the competition, we will begin your training on mastering these other quirks." As Naruto nodded, "Before you go," he said, acting all embarrassed. "What's wrong?" said Minato. "Can I, have a hug?" Minato looked at him strange. "Well, it's just, we've never really done this before," said Naruto. "What do you mean?" said Minato. "Well, hug. I saw some other parents and, well, they were hugging their son and cheering them on for passing, so can I have a hug?" Minato, feeling happy at his son's development and what he has accomplished here. "Of course," he said. "Come here, my boy." as Naruto walked over towards him and made contact. As Minato hugged Naruto back. They stayed like that for a good 10 seconds. As the 10 seconds mark came, Naruto had the quirk activated the entire time. Minato felt a strange sensation. However, the quirk took effect. Father, can I ask you something? Yes, sure, said Minato. He was conscious but he was not fully, to the state that he was to understand what was going on. As Naruto decided to do this quickly. Did you hate me? Said Naruto. Hate you? Well, yes. That was before you got your quirk though. When you start listening to me, I start to care for you some more. After all, your growth is important for serving Konoha. You will be the drive that is needed to make sure that Konoha remains #1 for a long time to come. Naruto's fists clenched, but he still held on to his father. When you took my blood and my DNA, what did you do with it? I was trying to see if they could find a way to replicate your quirk, so I wouldn't have to rely on you that much. But we failed at doing so. I wanted to create an army of people that could steal quirks, giving myself that ability as well. I would be unstoppable. Konoha would remain at #1, and no one would dare face me on the battlefield. They would risk me taking away their quirk. Tell me, did Mizuki came to kill me by himself? Mizuki? Oh no, I was the one that sent him. Naruto clenched his fist tight, as his palm started to leak blood, as he started to trail down his arm. Emotions, feelings started to burst inside of him. As Naruto's eyes even got watery, but he did not cry. Why did you send him? Because you were an embarrassment to me. You were an embarrassment to the whole family. I did not want you to graduate. And going out there and carrying my name, you were an embarrassment. I hated what I was doing, but I justified that it was the best thing to do, to get rid of you, said Minato. At least he would put you out of your suffering quickly. However, things changed, so I played it off, and I got something good out of it. As Naruto swallowed thickly, what about Ami? Did you send Sai and Yamato to kill her? Yes, but to make it look like an accident. But the opportunity went off perfectly. After all, they didn't have to do it with their own hands. I needed you to be on my side and no one else, so I could control you. Naruto's mind instantly darkened as he tried to kill Minato right here and now, but he realized something. Despite Minato talking to him, his body and movements were still aware. So if he tried to attack him, his body would fight back, but his mind was lucid. This quirk only works on the mind. Naruto released him. As he looked up towards Minato, who blinked. You are my son, he said. We can hug any time. I'm proud of you, said Minato, unaware of what just happened. Okay, said Naruto. Are you alright, said Minato, seeing a change in his son's behavior. Oh no, I'm fine. I want to make you and mom really proud. I want to make everyone proud, said Naruto. That's my boy, said Minato, as he walked out, leaving Naruto there. The whole room started to freeze over as Naruto took calming deep breaths. His eyes were bloodshot, as blood started to literally fill his eyes, making them completely red. As the whole room started to vibrate as Naruto gripped his chest once again, dropping to his knees as he calmed himself. He had to remain calm. He had to remain calm. Come on, calm down. As Naruto started to lose it, his nails started to extend. His body was not listening to him. His mind was Naruto. As Naruto blinked, hearing the voice of Ami. Calm down, she said. Everything's gonna be alright. Do not blow your cover. She's right. He heard the voice of Kyo in his head. You will lose everything if you do anything now. Wait until the time is right. Don't do anything stupid. Naruto lay there on the ground. The tears still did not fall. While his eyes were brimming with tears, they did not fall one bit, as they seemed to be sucked back in. Naruto took several deep breaths, as he placed his hand down to the frozen ground. As the ice quickly melted away, they were all monsters, and now he was justified to do anything he pleased. Naruto did not feel it anymore, that small bit of compassion from last night. From last night he did not feel it, but now it was like he became black inside. Completely dark, there was no light. The sensation to kill has never been so high before, as he could imagine himself ripping his father's throat open. No, no, no. That would be too easy, Naruto thought to himself. Killing his father would be too easy. He would die right away. They deserve to suffer. They deserve to go through the worst suffering. All the people that wronged him, all who treat him like he was some kind of abomination just because he did not possess a quirk. Hinata, Kiba, all of them when he was younger. The stain, the glares, everything. He was gonna make them all pay. He was gonna relish in their suffering. One by one, he was gonna put them through hell. Hell that they'd never seen before. He's gonna make sure that they wish they were dead. Naruto was feeling so much rage, his body felt like it was gonna explode. However, he kept himself calm for the sake of not doing anything stupid and going too overboard. For that alone, he kept himself calm. Calm and subdued as he took several deep breaths. His mother did not take long to arrive. She smiled, she laughed at him. She hugged him at least several times. The instinct to rip her heart right out and there was so strong, but Naruto restrained himself as he smiled back, seeing the glares that he was getting from Menma and Mito. There was also the mother of the Uchiha as well, his father and his bigger brother as well. Naruto still had no idea what the quirk that Itachi had. However, they say that it was something extremely powerful, judging by the look that he got from the others, seeing that he had dominated this competition when he was here. Naruto was curious to what it was, but he never heard anyone actually talking about it. No, that was strange. Naruto said nothing as he simply remained quiet, trying to be in the background, but his mother was making that hard. Not his mother, that woman. That woman that gave birth to him was making it hard. Every time he tried to lose them, they always seemed to find him. For now, he just had to pretend. He just had to bear through it. He could not do anything stupid. It wasn't long before the other Kages arrived. Naruto saw his father approach and spoke. He could tell that there was no love lost between them. All of them pretend to put on a happy face despite all of them not getting along. Except for his father and Raza. He did not see anyone else that seemed to get along that well. The Mizukage was a very short man. If you would look at him strangely, you would believe that he was a child, but he was not. The fourth Mizukage. He was said to have a water quirk. However, it was tremendously powerful, far beyond what Hinata possessed. He was able to do things that she could never do at the moment. Maybe she could never do them entirely. It had given the ranks to become a Kage. Not to mention he also possessed the three tail beasts as well. Tail beasts. There was also something else everyone worshipped. Everyone believed that having a tail beast was a joy and gift that they all received. His siblings were praised for it after all. Having a tail beast gave you an extra boost in chakra, making your reserve much larger to use your quirk as much as you want. Maybe he should also take those away. Not just from Konoha though, but from every nation. Take away their power, take away their strength. As an idea started to form in Naruto's head, a twisted idea that made him smirk. His hate had not even reached its peak yet. His hate was just brewing together. Time skip. The place was filled with crowd by the time they arrived. There was so much people. So much people as they arrived towards another open stadium. The Land of Iron was truly massive. People from all over had bought their tickets and they were there. All the important guests from the villages were up in a special area though. VIP if you would say. He saw his mother looking down towards them as she was calling out to them, waving and smiling at them. However, Naruto did not look her way. She seemed to frown at that he wasn't looking up, while his siblings were looking up. Mito and Menma smiling at their mother, but Naruto tried not to pay her or anyone any attention, as he simply looked down towards the ground. His mind not in a state to talk or really speak to anyone. Mikasa was there as well. As she glanced over towards him, she looked up to where the people were gathered, as she saw two people up there. However, they looked nothing like Konan and Nagato because of her father. Her parents had plans, things that they had not fully told her, but she knew that it involved going up against very dangerous regimes, changing the world as they know it. Her parents' mind were set on this as they had told her from a long time ago. They would be doing things that would consider them to be monsters. However, as she had watched and heard about the stories and the suffering that the people of the rain went through, she did not feel pity for the great nations that put them through this hell. As she knew about her mother's friend Yaiko, her mother had told her about him and what happened when they were younger. She did not know all of their plans, but her parents could not be seen out in the open just yet. There was things that they could have to do without their name being attracted to anything. The inner rain cannot be attracted to anything just yet. After all, they had plans. They also had a group of ninjas that were helping them as well. She has only seen them a few times, and seen the guy with the mask as well. But he had moved so fast she was barely able to see much of him. She did not say anything though as she looked forward. She was happy as she saw the contestants all gathered. As Mifune stepped up on the giant podium. "Alright, welcome one and all," he said, as he started to give a speech about uniting the nations as friends. Up in the booth, the Kages were all gathered. As Oniki glanced down towards his granddaughter, Kurosaki was gonna prove all of them about the strength of the hidden stone. Well, it seems like a lot of us has a lot more ninjas in the exam than you, Oniki. The Mizukage spoke up as he looked towards the old man. "Quality is better than quantity," Oniki said. "In some cases, yes, but in this, are you so sure?" Asked Yager. "Well, we'll just have to see for ourselves, won't we? It doesn't matter what you all talk about. Kumo will be dominating everything in these matches and prove the strength that we hold." The Raikage said, nothing but confidence in his tone. "I wouldn't be so sure. My son is something quite special," said Raza, as he looked towards the man. As the Raikage simply scoffed, "Special or not, he would not be passing through." As Oniki said a moment ago, "You will all just have to see." Hokage, not feeling to comment, asked Raza, "Why bother when you already know the outcome? Konoha will once again prove itself, just like it's done in the past couple of years." The other Kages were not pleased by that comment, however. They were in a neutral setting, so they just pretended to get along while their seeded hatred was still on the inside. Looking down, all the contestants were gathered. Gaara felt a chill going down his spine. Because of his title as a Kazekage's son, and not to mention, he had the best sealers of the sand making sure that the Tanuki never tried to control him. The seal was set so he could draw power from it. Not too much though, because if he went overboard, well, the thing will try to take over him. The tail beasts were still walking beasts of calamity and destruction. However, Gaara felt a chill. Glancing behind him, he saw a participant from Konoha looking at him. His eyes focused dead center on him. Gaara did not fear this individual, nor did he fear anyone here. His ability made him untouchable, like a mystical god. So why would he fear anyone? However, this glare was off-putting. Mikasa was able to see Naruto as she saw who he was looking at. An idea popped in her head as she wondered, was he thinking of? She glanced up towards the booth as her eyes glanced up towards the fourth Hokage. A snarl came on her face. Naruto noticed that as he had glanced towards her, the moment she glanced up towards his father, a sixth sense of sorts. She looked towards him, a calm expression on her face. As Naruto didn't know why, she was trying hard for him not to hate her. And frankly, he didn't hate her, but he just did not care for her. Because he did not care for a single soul on this world. "Alright," Mifune said, speaking out to all the contestants. "Let us begin the final rounds of the Chunin exams that all of you came here to see." Explosions of clapping could be heard in the crowds as everyone was ready on the ball of their heel. Kushina shouted out for her babies to do their best. Both Mito and Menma blushed in embarrassment as Naruto did not react in the slightest. As Mikato beside her chuckled a bit, Fukaku was watching the thing with a calculated gaze. Itachi Uchiha stood back as he watched the whole thing. Itachi's gaze was centered on a single person though, and that was not even his brother, that was Naruto Namikaze. As Itachi Uchiha did not say anything, he just watched the boy. Itachi was a very observant person who possessed a rather powerful quirk, something that made people wary of him, as he was on the outside most times, despite not being a threat to his own village, but his quirk was just that problematic and powerful. However, Itachi had seen things, especially with this child. That look of hate glanced towards his own village and his people. Itachi did not say anything though, as he kept his mouth shut as he watched the proceedings go on. Things might look like they were okay and normal, but they were not. Problems were everywhere. As Mifune brought up a center scream in the center, the ground seemed to parted as once again the village was showing its technological advance. As it started to bring up names, Naruto saw his name in the third slot, as he saw several others. However, a wicked grin came on Naruto's face when he saw Gara of the Desert right beside his name. Oh, that was just perfect. But guys, be end episode right here. If you want to see the next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But for now, remember to go ahead and check out the other what ifs over on the other channels. And also guys, stay tuned for there's what ifs coming your way. But for now, see you guys soon. Peace.